Hello my lovelies. In today's video I am going to share with you the idea of coloring up succulents. If you live somewhere warmer, you're never going to get this succulent to color up like this or this or this. Of course, there are those succulents that are just born naturally colored up and beautiful like this Romeo. But for the rest, it has to be induced by putting them in the right location. Oh, this is the beautiful colored succulents. And the reason why is it is official. This is the end of July. We've had the coldest weather ever recorded now. That's almost -6. And -6, a lot of succulents will freeze their butt off. And when they freeze their butt off, coupled with the sun, they color up. So all these succulents here are exposed to the sun. This Echeveria Chroma at the front here is a good example of the effect of the frost and the sun. This has been sitting here for the last 3 months, and that one at the back has been grown in the shade before, and it's only been out here for the last couple of weeks. So 2 weeks ago, this thing was literally almost that color there. But now, after 2 weeks, it's starting to darken up or color up. And in time, maybe another 4 weeks, it will start looking like this one at the front. This is a beautiful Echeveria Supia or Supia. You pretty, yeah, gorgeous, isn't it? That one is a cutting I took from my plant, and this one is sort of exposed out here to the elements, so it's getting frostbitten. And also the sun, when the sun hits it in the morning, they thaw out, and because of that they get blushy cheeks and therefore coloring up. All those red tips on this frosty ruby blush, it's the same story. They get frosted and then they get heated, and of course they will color up. So this one is not as colored up as it is supposed to be. This normally goes all red, but because I have it in this green mini greenhouse, that is, then it is protected. So protected from the frost, which chills their bones, and then they get flustered and rested and redded. Atlantis is the same thing because of the cold. It has gone to sleep. But look how cute those colors are. Isn't that beautiful? So it looks like they're gonna die, but they're actually just sleeping now, because Sedum Atlantis grows during autumn, spring, sort of temperate temperature. But when it gets too cold or too hot, they go dormant. Of course, naturally, there are succulents that are just born red. So like this one. So this is a Reuben hybrid called Brava. Brava! You have become so bravarious. So just like this Yin Lisa. Yin Lisa also got cold, and of course it goes red. During summer, this is actually green. So, but if I put Yin Lisa somewhere sort of a little bit protected during summertime, when they don't have direct sunlight exposure, what happens is they will go a bit green, but will still have some red tips like this Yamato Haru. But this Yamato Haru as well, this is actually just mostly sort of green, like this moonstone during summertime. This is my Echeveria Roulette, which is not very roulette-y. So right now it's sort of more sort of paley color. It looks more like a Hercules. But I promise you, this is Roulette. So this one is grown somewhere with a shade cloth covered up. So it's protected, and that's the reason why it's a little bit boring. Now I'm gonna take this one and I'm gonna compare it with the other one that's exposed to the cold. Now check out this Roulette. So I'm gonna say this one is the winter exposed, or frost exposed I should say, and then the other one is frost protected. So frost protected and look, frost exposed. See the difference of color? Okay, let's put it side by side. There you go. Isn't that gorgeous? Ah, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Beautiful roulette. And I also have another pot full of roulette that is grown somewhere, not exposed to the sun, but exposed to the cold only, with no overhead covering. But this area hardly gets sunshine. So I'm gonna tip it up, okay, up above. So this is not protected, so the frost will settle on it and freeze its butt off. But the sun doesn't get to it until late in the afternoon. So this is about, I think about 3:30, 4 o'clock now, and in winter, and so this doesn't get hardly any sun shining on it. So no sunshine on its shoulder. It doesn't make it happy. It's still beautiful, but not as beautiful as this roulette. Gorgeous. And it's quite a big plant. I really need to repot this. So I started removing some of the plants that's in here, and so I have to find a pot big enough to complement the beauty of this roulette. I can't think of a pot. So anyway, because it's sort of a muted color, I need something that's sort of nice and bright, like maybe, how about this pot here? We're gonna recycle some pots. Oh yeah, that would be good. That'd be good for the roulette. So I can pot this up, and we're gonna do that later on. And if it gets too cold, then I'm gonna do it inside, just for your viewing pleasures, my lovely. So this is Echeveria Pink Dragon, also in the same pot as the roulette that is grown in a protected area. So there's no frost settling on these plants. And of course, I've got no sunshine as well on these ones. So no frost settling and no sunshine. What happens is they go boring like this. But the same plant, Pink Dragon, if it's protected, like with a shade cloth, just like this one's, but it gets sunshine. Look at the blue dragon. Hello, blue dragon. Oh, sorry, this is blue dragon. Where's my pink dragon? What am I talking about? Okay, I'm gonna have to look for my pink dragon, because my pink dragon is not probably so pink. I saw it somewhere. There it is. Ah, I knew it. I knew it. I knew somewhere over the rainbow I've got a pink dragon. This one is getting sunshine. That one, no sunshine. So cold and sun will result on a red one. Oh, that even rhymes. But if it's just cold, then they go old. I was supposed to say mold, because old, well, it sort of rhymes, but they do go moldy when they don't get sun exposure. So this one now, this is another plant that, or pot, that I really need to expose to the sun and also to the frost. You come here, little baby one. So this is different plants, and I'm sure these are frost hardy. So with -6, okay, first of all, it's forecast -2 for tomorrow or tomorrow morning, but that was the same as yesterday, which is forecast -2, and then we got -5.9. So I'm still thinking tonight we are gonna get the same, at least -4 tonight. So Sunday morning, so today is Friday, so Saturday until Sunday probably we're gonna have a worse frost again. So I thought it will be best if I put these plants and expose them to the cold, so that way they can color up. So right now it's Friday. On my next videos next week, I'm gonna point this out, or maybe you can remind me to say what happened to the mixed pot of Santa. It says best friend. Okay, so this one is called best friend. So the best friends, I don't know if they're gonna be pally after tonight and tomorrow and the next day, whether they're still gonna be as pally and happy as they look. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 best friends, and the rest of the plants here is pretty in pink, and that one is a chocolate lady or something like that. Red champagne did not really grow, it's still small and tiny. And then agavoides, no, chocolate lady, sorry, there's no chocolate lady. I think these are chocolate lady here, those ones. I need to pull them out, but never mind. Chocolate lady used to be so beautiful. I had a separate single one that I grew somewhere, but that died, that got neglected, because as you know by now, I have been neglectful of my succulents, and even though I neglect them, look how beautiful they are still growing. This is red wine, and this one is coloring up on the side because it's getting cold, and also it gets sunshine on it. So the one that's getting hit by the sun colors up, but this one is because the sun sort of hits the top of it. You can see that there, but the other side is all green. See? So what I'm gonna do with this one, I want it to go all red wine. I wanna love you more. I'm gonna lift this up and put it on this area here. How about I just swap these things around? Hang on, this one, I'll put this one here. I think I'll put this one back somewhere over the rainbow. Ew, I just squashed a snail. And then this one, I need to move this one over here. Look at that. And then we're gonna pick, we're not gonna pick a fight with this one. We're gonna pick up this one. Come here, baby. And I'm gonna put you here. So, come on. So you can be exposed to the sun and you can color up. Oh, look at that. Okay. Soon you're gonna be beautiful. Oh, I have a spot still here. I need to put another pot here. If there's spot, then we put another pot. What will I put over there? Oh, this one. Are you gonna suffer the frost? Okay. Burning from the sun is different from being burned by the frost. Somehow the frost actually sort of helps them color up, as I mentioned, but the sun just kills them. So they boil during summer. When the sun hits the succulents, especially if you have a really wet pot, then they burn and sizzle. The moisture in the soil really boils up, and of course it cooks the succulents. So this is Sedeveria Letizia that I have been protecting here. So this is just all green, but the same Sedeveria Letizia, so coming from the same plant, okay, so the contemporary or sisters, so they all came from one pot. Now I'm gonna compare these to the other ones. I can't take the whole tray off. We just have to leave it here and just compare it with this sort of semi-protected area. So this one actually is not exposed to the frost. That means the frost doesn't settle, or the dew doesn't settle on it. Therefore, no frost freezes up on the surface of the leaves. And look how beautiful they are. Gorgeous, isn't it? But that part is exposed to the sun. This one is covered by the sun, so the trajectory is, look, that. So when the sun hits it, only the top part of the Letizia gets hit by the sun, and the ones that doesn't get hit by the sun is still green. And one of the mummies that I've taken that Letizia from is this one, and look how red that is. Gorgeous, isn't it? So I chop off all the heads, and those are new babies growing in there now. So but you can see the difference of the color, and also those are the same Letizias. And of course this is morning sun only, and also protected from the mini greenhouse that I've got here. For a minute there, I forgot what it's called. And then now we compare the coloring. See? Beautiful. And of course, I forgot to show you the Supia. See the Supia here? That is the one sort of exposed to sun and frost versus the mother plant that is hiding in the cold or in the background here. See, look, it's covered by everything. So it does get cold still, but it doesn't get hit by the sun. So I need to expose this now to slowly maybe put it here. So that way, or there, just there. So from being covered from the shelf to here, that way it can also have some sun, midday sun hitting it, and that will color up just like the pink dragon. Anyway guys, that's all I got for this video. And this beautiful, what's your name? I'm having a mental block again. I know your name. There you go, Moon Goddess. I saw the label on the side. So this Moon Goddess is already growing on its way, but you can see that they have a slightly damage from the frost because they are not really all that frost hardy. And so I grow this one over here in sort of a protected area where my shade cloth is, and where also this little Bonnie Jean is not my lover. Look how beautiful this one. So this one is naturally colored like that, just like the Romeo, because I believe this is a Romeo hybrid. But the Romeo in summer will keep its color if it's kept somewhere in the shade. But if it's kept out in the sun, it actually loses its color. So anyway guys, there's too many information to know and learn and study with growing succulents. And as I find that over the years, 9 years now that I've been growing them, when I thought I know everything I need to know about them, they still cease to amaze me, because I learn something new every day. Anyway, okay, this one, what's your name? You are something, I can't remember. I know something, the same plant. Yes, peach blossom. So this peach blossom, again, different condition, grown dry, will have a different look compared to my other peach blossom that I just plonk somewhere, which I'm gonna show you. In here, exposed to the element. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I need to repot this, but for now I'm gonna leave them as is because they are quite easy to grow. And the funny thing about plants that are quite easy to grow, you tend to neglect them, take them for granted, because they are easy to grow, just like this beautiful mule here, which really needs to be transplanted. Anyway, thanks once again. And just like this plant here that was green a few days ago, now it's starting to color up. Aren't they beautiful? Yes, the bird agrees with me.